Thank you, Commissioner Mimica, DG Monique Liu, Honorable Ministers, Vice Ministers, authorities, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by saying that I'm very pleased to see such a high number of countries and organizations represented here at high level in this conference. I thank especially the African Union Commission for supporting the participation of several African countries, and also Commissioner Mimica and the European Union, and OEE Monique Liu for supporting our efforts to put in place this conference. We also have to thank to the presence of regional organizations, donors, farmers, association, and civil society that are present here. This is a strong sign that the international community is committed to fight and eradicate the pest, the Petits Ruminants. Ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight that, as Mimica already said, 7 years ago, we achieved a major global milestone, celebrating the eradication of rinderpest. We are able to defeat rinderpest because we work closely together with commitment and determination. From 1986 to 2011, so for 25 years, the international community invested about $3.5 billion to eradicate rinderpest. Long time, lot of money. But estimates indicate that the eradication of rinderpest has produced a net economic benefit at least $1.4 billion per year. That means that in 2.5 years, we recover all the investment did during 25 years. This is the benefit to point to the eradication of this pest. And I know I'm not a specialist. I know that eradicate pest de Petits Ruminants is easier due to some technical issues than what happened with rinderpest. There are some lessons learned from the fight against rinderpest that we should take into consideration. First, we need to be all on board firmly. We need to believe that we can do it. Political commitment, political will is fundamental. Second, we need the involvement of local government, farmers, veterinarians, also agronomists, to put in place operation mechanisms to eradicate the pest. We will not succeed this war if we don't have firmly our feet on the ground. And for that, we need the support of local organizations, local people, farmers, veterinarians. Third, the amount of money that we are investing in this fight is much less than the socio-economic benefit that we get after eradicating the pest. Let me emphasize this point. It's not a cost. Those research investments that will be easily recovered after we achieve the goal. The disease is now present in more than 70 countries in Africa, Asia, Middle East, and I was mentioned also in Europe. Bulgaria has recently been affected. Excellencies, small ruminants are the primary livestock resource of about 300 million poor families in emerging countries. In sub-Saharan Africa, a region where we are losing the battle against hunger and malnutrition, the number of pastoralists goes up to 100 million. And most of the time, they are the poorest of the poorest. And sheep and goats are the only asset they have. Specifically, the case of Sahel, 60% of the population is involved in livestock farming. So, if we do not tackle the spread of PPR, we will be contributing to exacerbate poverty and hunger. In fact, sheep and goats provide an essential part of the daily diet of these people, especially children. When a family loses their sheep and goats, they don't have milk to provide to the children. And we know what that means. PPR can also trigger distress migration. What is a pastoralist that loses her herbs? We can accommodate them in a camp for some times. But if we don't find a way to replenish their herbs, get them back to work, they will find a way out of the camp. And we know what happens with that. So, eradicating PPR is also an important part of the efforts to tackle distress migration and to create more jobs opportunity in Africa, in the Sahel region, especially for women and youth. Excellencies, as you know, the global strategy against PPR was endorsed in 2015 during an international conference in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. In 2016, FAO and OE launched an initial 5-year program, 2017-2021, to start the implementation of the PPR global strategy. Throughout this 5-year program, our partners have supported countries to formulate their national strategic plans. So far nowadays, we have 56 out of the 70 target countries that formulated their national strategic plans to fight the PPR. The main objectives are raising awareness among farmers, strengthening national veterinary service, promoting a coordinated and harmonious approach, and especially implementation of vaccination campaigns. Let me call your attention, especially, I just met the Minister of Mongolia, and we spoke about that countries that have a lot of sheep and goats, sometimes more than their population, need to have their own capacity, their own local veterinarian service, their own network of laboratories locally, and need to think about producing their own vaccines. I come from a country that convived for decades with foot and mouth disease. Until we had the capacity to produce our own vaccine, we didn't succeed in combating this. Excellencies, this 5-year program, PPR, was budgeted in almost $1 billion. We have mobilized more than 60% by now, still missing $340 million to guarantee the total implementation of this 5-year program to combat PPR. I hope that in this conference, we will be able to reach this goal of $1 billion. Let me give you a number, because many people think this is a big money. We estimate that nowadays PPR is causing economic loss in the 70 countries that are present. This, in fact, we didn't consider Bulgaria, 69 countries that are present, about 2.1 billion per year. So again, if we consider this an investment, that we need to do with 1 million, we'll be able to recover the benefits in half a year if we succeed to eradicate. So let's consider this a very, very good investment. Before concluding, let me say that eradicating PPR is very important for sustainable development and for building a safer world. As I said, we need to support developing countries to eradicate this pest and have their own production of animals. This 5-year PPR global strategy is the first step towards complete eradication of the plague by 2030. I thank you for your presence and for your attention.
Doctor, thank you very much.